What's going on, guys? Matt here from T1 Training. I'm a diabetes specialist and a personal trainer, and I'm also a type 1 diabetic. And I'm here to talk to you today about the two ways that we measure our management and our success with diabetes and how well we're keeping our blood sugars in range. The first thing I want to talk to you about is HbA1c, and this refers to our amount of glycated hemoglobin. This essentially means you have the protein in a red blood cell attaches to glucose becoming glycated, right? And we can measure the amount of these we have with an HbA1c test, and it will give us a good picture of our average blood glucose. It's a good way of telling us how well we're managing our diabetes over a period of weeks, months, an extended period of time, essentially. So HbA1c is great. They're what a lot of doctors use, but it does have its flaws, and that's what I'm going to go into in the next little part of the video. So another tool we have to measure how well we're doing with our diabetes is time in target range. Now, this only unfortunately refers to people using a continuous glucose monitor or a flash glucose monitor, a bit like this one that I've got here. This is a Freestyle Libre. So what is good about time and target range is it essentially tells us how long we're spending within our desired blood sugar range. So for most people, the top is 10 millimole and the bottom is 4 millimole. And this percentage will say how long we're spending in that range, and it will give us a really good idea of how good our control is. The gold standard generally is if you can get that above 70% for an extended period of time, say your 1 month or your 90-day average above 70% in range, you're doing pretty well. So we've talked about HbA1c and we've talked about time and target range, but which one is better and a more effective way of gauging how well we're doing with our diabetes? Well, there's a lot to consider really, but what we've got to think about is HbA1c, you could be going from the bottom of your target range, right to the top, right to the bottom again, and constantly spiking. We call it like a roller coaster, right? But overall, say this is the average, it could look like you've got quite a good HbA1c, when actually your overall control isn't that great, because you could be saying you're going from, right, 18 millimole, 2 millimole, back up, back down, but it's just going to appear like a constant path as far as HbA1c is concerned, which isn't great, because it could look like you're doing quite well to your doctor from a blood test, but actually you're spending quite a lot of time out of range, which is obviously what will in the long term lead to diabetes complications over time. But this is where things like time in target range can really help us instead, because this will obviously show every time you go up and out of range, every time you go down, out of range, it's going to knock off in that percentage. So you might see someone with quite a good HbA1c, but if their time and target range is like 40 or 30%, because they're constantly getting the spikes and drops, you'll know that actually things need to be actioned and things might need to change with their lifestyle habits and their medication to achieve that better 70% time and target range. So there we go, guys. I hope this video has made a little bit of sense. This is just for me to kind of clear up and help you guys establish what's the best way to gauge how well you're doing with your diabetes. So your HbA1c might be quite good, but if you're using a CGM, have a look at your time and target range, and that will give you a really good indication of how well you're getting on with your diabetes management. Remember, 70% or above, you are doing really, really well. So I hope you found this video useful. Let me know in the comments what kind of content you want to see coming. We're really going to start putting out this channel more. Obviously, it would mean the world if you could like, subscribe, and be sure to follow me on Instagram. It will be linked in the description, but it's at T1_Matt.